Good morning, friends. Howdy, YouTube, and welcome back. And hello, Twitter. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all doing great. Hope you had a nice Christmas, nice safe holidays, and hopefully your New Year is very good, happy, full of family and friends. And if not, I just hope you're overall enjoying yourself, enjoying this nice little break. So we got some updates for you for 2026. 2025, I spent the year doing daily updates and levels to look for and forecasting price with a high degree of consistency and accuracy. So that was pretty nice. Unfortunately, it didn't really do anything for my overall analytics. So I'm going to approach 2026 a little bit different this year. There was lots of live streams and stuff at the beginning of the year, and then with the government shutdown, it just kind of dwindled off. So I'm going to be doing a lot of PM live stream trading sessions this year, and I'll be halting the public daily updates and leaving those for my private students. So if you were really hooked on the updates, send me a message in the comments and let me know how much you'd miss them, and maybe I might change my mind. I will be live streaming on Twitter as well, so that'll be pretty fun. We got some cool new effects and filters that'll be pretty sweet. So as far as the plan for 2026 goes, I'll hook you guys up with my trading plan and what I'm going to deploy for the year. It's going to be upgraded from 2025. And yeah, it's just going to be like the next and the last couple of weeks. And the next couple of weeks are going to be the changeover from reflection to what you're going to do for 2026 and how you're going to perform better. So you go through your journal. Of course, you've been journaling, right? You go through your journal and you just figure it out. This is going to be different for everyone, but it's funny because the problems that we're all having are pretty standard, right? But then when you start to work through those, your journey and how you deal with those problems is going to be unique, right? So over time, those problems don't fully subside, but you deal with them better. So admittingly, with this government shutdown going from this isn't even public. Dang it. Let me change this setting here. YouTube. Oopsie daisy. There we go. So, admittingly, the government shutdown would have absolutely destroyed me, which was becoming obvious in about October, and I was going through my journal, and nothing that I was experiencing previous years was matching up with what was going on. So it was just time to dial it back, tone it right down, and that's exactly what we did. So it's just how you got to play the game. I'm expecting some super violence coming up, so I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. But yeah, if it would have been like 3 years ago in a market environment like we just had, I would have been wrecked. and I'd be probably looking for a job right now. So if you feel like the last 5 months has been, well, December was pretty good actually, but if you feel like you've been struggling the last 5 months, there's a reason. And even my mentor, like he wanted to go, you could tell he wanted to go hard, but he ended up dialing it back because the market environment was just way too sketchy. So dealt with all of that. Yeah, you guys new on YouTube, just drop it in. You're gonna want to go back and watch the beginning of this because I'm not doing it over. It's also streaming on Twitter or X. That's the most horrible rebrand in the history of rebrands. X. Jeez, Elon, come on, genius. So anyway, yeah, we went over what we're going over, what we're gonna do for 2026, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So let's do some trading plan stuff. So my trading plans typically aren't 15 pages. They're very concise. And if your trading plan's 15 pages long, you're going to want to refine some of that, probably about 90% of it. It shouldn't be too complicated. So between so 8:30 to 11 a.m., I'm going to be doing higher time frame executions with lower time frame models. Now, one thing that I have noticed that I do is my first trade, especially the last half of this year, was either a round trip or a loss. So I started using less in the first trade and then more in the second trade, where usually I'm going ham the first trade because it's usually in. And then the second trade, I'll dial the risk back. So I reverse that. So what I've noticed is that when I'm going after the turtle soup, it's usually a deep stop hunt, right? More than I want to use on a stop loss. So even though it could be the bottom if I'm bullish, right? So I'm going to refrain from doing turtle soups. And the reason why is because I want to refine what I'm doing. So it's not that turtle soups are cowboy. It's just that the market's been really fickle. So what I'm going to wait for is a lower time frame model, but as long as I'm on a higher time frame array. Okay, and that'll make sense to you if you know what you're doing. But this is going to be the very first piece to the plan. The second piece is risk. I'm going to be doing a maximum of $600 of risk per day, per trade. And the reason why is because I shouldn't need more than that. I shouldn't even need that to capitalize on a daily range if everything's in and on side. So you see those days where London does diddly squat and then 8:30 a.m. news driver drops down, we make an order block, and then we're on the higher time frame and price just starts squirreling out for opening bell. Those types of trades shouldn't need a lot of risk. And depending on where my account gets to, I might turn that up for the second quarter of the year. So I'm going to keep this risk for the first quarter of the calendar year. and then see where it's at with that. So that's the daily loss limit, actually. Daily risk on any given trading day. I'm going to aim for so I'm going to aim for 3 profitable trading days a week. Now that doesn't mean that I'm going to be trading 3 days a week every week. It's just like for my leverage masters, people who are in the Discord, I was showcasing how to grow a small account following a model, and it made 25% of my total equity. And that screenshot is on my Twitter. Just go to the photos if you want to scroll down a little bit, and you'll see the equity curve. And I did that with 3 trades and 0 losses. And so I gave myself 5 profitable trading days for December, but only took 3. So like, if I'm looking for a specific quota for the week, I'll just shut it down. Okay. And 25% of an account is amazing, especially when you're just trying to, grow a small account. Being really, 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 really picky. Okay, quota for this specific account will be $4,000. Now where I live, that's pretty good. So that'll be USD, obviously. So that'll be ends met, right? So that's the quota. So that's with, let's say, 2 minis, that's 400 ticks, right? So that's $4,000. So if you got 3 profitable trading days per week, there's typically 4 weeks. So you've got 12 tries to make 400 ticks. That's not unrealistic at all. And it could be with one contract, 800 ticks, right? So that's not unrealistic. The runner on any given trading day would be considered a very hefty tip. Okay, so I'm considering the runner is tipping. So like, if you're a server or some kind of serving business, you get tips. So I'm going to consider the runners a tip. Time stops. For generally it's 3 p.m. But if I feel like, if there was like earnings or something, and I feel like it's gonna go somewhere really fast, and we've seen this at 4:01 p.m. sometimes, where it just jettisons somewhere. That's if there's earnings, I might run the time stop a little bit later. So I'm in the morning, Judas, and then I'm risking this much per permitted trading day. My quota, 3 profitable trades per week. So I'm only looking to trade, like, work 3 days a week, right? $4,000 a month plus runner for tip. And the runner will be activated until about 3 p.m. EST. So that's the Master Friend trading plan. And it doesn't really get much more complex than this. Now, the problem with a trading plan, and this is, I've got a large data set now on a lot of people. The problem with the trading plan is that it's hard to follow, especially when you're in the moment and price action pisses you off. Okay. You can fill in the variables for your plan. You can add things. You can take whatever away. But this is going to be what I'm doing all year. So that's AM session. The PM trading plan. Will be the 130 let's see, about 340 maybe till about 340 depending. Really it's like 2 to 3 p.m. We'll just go to 3. This one's going to be more freestyling. In-N-Out Burger. So this will be a completely different account that I'll be trading with in the PM session with you guys. And we'll see what we can grow this for the first quarter. But In-N-Out Burger, freestyling, so I'll be taking models and exiting as I please. Not really looking for dynamic runs. It all kind of depends on the day and if targets have been met for the day. Like say we had like a deviation of a Judas that lined up with a deviation of Asia's range, and it was like chopping from 11 till 3, right? Then I might go longer because it might want to rush to get somewhere before the CME close. So that would be a scenario where I'd keep going. So yeah, take a screenshot of that. And as far as like, this is going to be trying to capitalize on a daily range, and this is just scalping PM session. So I'll let you guys know if I'm in a trade from the morning or whatever. So yeah, take a screenshot of that. And let's go into some TA for the year. Now we'll go to the NQ1. Boy, oh boy, look at that. This was awesome. And so if you're new with me, we called April being the bottom of the year, and that happened. And now we're closing the year up in a premium. So we had a beautiful open, low, high close power of 3 for the yearly candle. Yay, we did it. We did it. We called the whole entire yearly candle. Yes. That was so awesome. So yeah, pretty sweet. Everybody was bummed out when, I don't know, tariffs or something. And we were expecting this dump. It went underneath old lows, just like it's supposed to, grabbed liquidity and went up and distributed those orders here, just like it was supposed to. Beautiful when you can do that on a yearly candlestick. I'll show you what that looks like. Boom. Look at it. That was it dropping here, right? And now it's making the tail for the entire year. And then it goes and reprices higher and then closes near the high. It's a perfect candlestick. Look at how beautiful it is. And you guys were wondering why I had a bullish bias the entire time. Look at it. Look at it. That's why. It was back above the open. Very cool. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. A yearly order block. And look at the precision on that sucker. Like, you can't tell me that wasn't awesome. So, that being said, I'm not calling a top, are you? I see everybody else calling tops. Those guys are knuckleheads. So let's grab the entire previous year, okay? And let's mark off the 30%. So 417.25. I'm trying to get as close as possible. 413.50. And it was 411.25. Try to get as close as possible. Good enough. Okay. Now go to the 3-month chart. Okay. So that's that section of price here. Open, low, high, close, right? This is interesting. Very interesting. Now, every time I look at these big charts, I'm imagining in my head that it's a 5 or 15-minute chart. Okay? So I hope that helps you. I see a continuation of trend with a gap. Actually, two. One in the discount and one at equilibrium. So this specific annotation, the lower purple line, is a place of interest for me. This upper one here, how it lands dead center of that tail, is a place of interest for me. It need not come back into this gap. If that is the case, we are much more bullish than you think. Way more bullish, okay? But if we do come into this, it's not that we're not bullish. It's just that it's going to take another month or two to make an order block and then get its butt going. Okay, so this is the 3-month chart. Now I'm going to the 1-month chart. And so if it wants to come and revisit down into here, this has already done its job this month. That's hilarious. Then I would look for another series of these 3 candles or these 4 candles even, right? And look for that down in here before getting a blast on up. So that would make your standard bull flag. So if I'm projecting a bull flag in the market to get railroaded, now I'm going into the weekly chart. Where's the closest swing low? Well, it's right here. So if we make a bull flag, there's another swing low here. That's where people's stop losses are going to be, and that's going to be where I want to buy. Even here we have relative equal lows. See how we could revisit this easily before maybe continuing on. The only thing that sucks is this inefficiency right here. And it's definitely not been filled. So you guys call them CME gaps. Yeah. So that's about it for the large time frames for projections. That's where I'd like to see a bottom for the entire year right here. Now, there's our algorithmic yearly open for April. So don't forget about that. Depending on what we do from here till April, if we make an expansion and trend up, I will use that range. So just draw a little depiction here. Let's say this year opens up, January. We come and dip down here. And then February, March, and then April opens up here. Whatever we do from the low we make to the high we make opening in April, that's what I'll use for my new range. And if we just continue to go up, then crazy. That would be nuts. But it's not unrealistic to say that NASDAQ could just keep flipping out of control. I mean, look at it. Right? And everybody who's ever tried to call a top on this thing just keeps getting spanked. I remember when I first joined Sam's Discord, there was a bullish order block here in the monthly chart. And somebody was saying, yeah, Biden's going to kill the economy. recession, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, bottom's in. That he was calling me names, he was swearing at me, and it just literally went up only from that point. So well, I guess maybe not up only, but from that point for months on end, it just kept going up. So there's just one example of why you shouldn't call tops in this asset. And Bitcoin as well, just so you know. And don't try and call tops in Bitcoin because it's just going to railroad you. This is really awesome. So you guys know what levels I'm looking at. And, speaking of Bitcoin, I don't know what's really annoying is that NASDAQ went up and Bitcoin, I think it just tickled its high and then came back down and it's hanging out in its discount right now. So I would expect that Bitcoin would want to catch up. Same with Ethereum. This is kind of what Bitcoin's chart looks right now. You're right about here in the discount. And I would anticipate that Bitcoin would want to catch up quite quickly. So take that for what it is. Probably nothing. New contract and QH, I'm sure you know. And yeah, we've got a swing low here on the monthly chart. And I'm aiming for that. And then I would expect if and when we do get to the previous month and the previous month's high, that it would want to take a little dipsky poo before the jettison, which is pretty typical for trend. And with that, I'm going to go through my chat. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Sorry, I was unlisted at first, and then I had to make it public. My apologies. You're going to want to go back to the beginning of that. 26 lovely people. Hello. Shout out Wildberries, Bellicose, Likey, Timmy313. Nice. I was just thinking about you the other day, man. Hope you're having a great Christmas. Hope you had a great Christmas. Hope your holidays are filled with just love and joy, and your wife is really happy and on a treadmill, and your kids are really happy and wiping out on dirt bikes. Yeah, man. I hope you're hitting the gym and getting jacked. Wildberries, I do like the updates. Yeah, well, it's time you go on your own, my little bird, my little turtle bird. No, but yeah, if you guys are, I was mentioning before when it was unlisted that if you guys really missed the updates, tell me in the comments. And we'll see what's up. But they were just, I don't know, little quick videos. I thought they'd be, something for people to bite into, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. People have Stockholm syndrome. They like to get wrecked. That's what I've come to, like, bro, I called this whole yearly candle. And then I called out every candle on the way to targets. Like, just go back into the updates. It's all there. I can't change anything. And, like, consistently all year, just slapping price around. Like, it didn't do nothing. So, whatever. And it's not like I was going for it. It was just at the end of the year, I was looking at YouTube shoves the analytics down your throat. And I was looking at it and I was like, are you serious? Wow, that's kind of disappointing. People who are wrong constantly, they're just allowed to flourish. It's amazing. It's amazing once you see it. It's kind of disappointing. Yeah, they've been liking to do that double dip and rip in the lower time frame. Yeah, lately, hey, the double dolphin dip, turtle soup. Yeah, that was annoying. And it became so consistent that, because usually my first trade's a banger. But it came so consistent that it was the second one that, yeah, I started using less in the trade the first time and more in the second one. Max 9 trades an hour, 3 resets a day is maximum, says Wildberries. You're hilarious, bro. No more resets, bro. You guys that can't control your losses, this is why you're having issues. You guys don't have a TA issue. You have a self-control problem. You're just looking for dopamine hits. And even if they're negative ones, you're finding satisfaction out of those, which it should be your main focus going into the year. Trying to be more stoic in your trading. Yeah. I took a trade on, I think, Friday or something, and I was waiting for it to go in my favor, and I was trying to load up the computer, and Apple needed an update, so nothing was working properly, and I just got so freaking angry. I rage quit the trade. I was short, and I took two more contracts short, trying to rage quit the last two contracts in it. I ended up entering in two more and then having to go and press the X button. But yeah, anyway, I was just so pissed off at my computer, I had to close the trade. Oh, you guys, just being angry just ruins everything. You got to be chill when you're at work. Now I get where you take shorts, not at breakouts, but where everyone takes profit makes sense. Well, yeah, when it starts breaking out, if I'm bearish on the day and it looks like it's gonna run up, that's when you see me short. Just like on Friday. And the executions are all there. Here, I'll go over it. It ran up, and I'm not freaking bullish at the end of the week, end of the year, end of the month, right? I'm not freaking bullish. It's went up a lot. So, of course, I'm going to be bearish. Well, son of a gun, it runs down violently. And I'm like, wow, there it is. There it is. We're going to get a doom drop. Let's do it. Comes up, and I'm getting short in this candle right here. That one right there. And any one of my private students, feel free to call me out, okay? But you know, you have the execution, and it's right on this candle. I gave myself a nice, decent stop. It starts running in my favor, like diving, and I'm like, yeah, here it comes, baby. I take a partial right at this low here. Well, and then I'm ready to launch the live, hang out with you guys for the PM session, and my filter won't work, my audio drivers wouldn't work for my mic in Ableton. And I just got so mad, I ended up rage quitting the trade in and around here. And then I left the house and I came back and it was popping up, and I was like, all right, I guess it was kind of cool that I closed it. But still never hitting my entry again. But yeah, even if you guys are like, if your dog dies, your parents are sick, you got a sick kid, like anything external. And I had ICT in the back of my mind. And he's just like, close it. And I was just like, rage quit. But yeah, you got to do it. Because had I hung on to that, I would have been even more pissed off. In all honesty, it would have come right back close to my entry. It would have been like, for crying out loud. Right? But yeah. Yeah, man. But shorting above old highs. Look at that. Once it dapped up there and it was running and tricking traders into going long, and then it snaps in their faces, that's the best right there. That's your new range. That's where I'm looking to get short in the premium. Man, I bet you she opens up and she just dives. I bet you she just runs for these equal lows. That would be hot. A wife and got in good shape and back to nice. Yeah, see, I knew it. How did I know it? Because I'm a smart turtle. Yeah, you guys' gas is getting cheap. Things are looking up over there. You guys are getting a tax rebate, abolishing income tax. Like, it's gonna pop off. Like, nobody's priced. You guys want to know something funny? Everybody in the last 3 months who's been calling it over, in like the crypto market, they haven't priced in Trump cuts. They haven't priced in anything. But they see red candles in the chart, so it's over to them. Oh, I bet you 2026 is going to be what we thought 2025 was going to be. Well, we catch everybody with their pants down like usual. So I'm looking forward to it. Shout out to your friend Sami. Okay, he's my friend Sami, and he's awesome. Go check him out on YouTube. Check him out on Twitter. Guy is relentless. You can't keep up to this guy. Like 3 videos a day, 6,000 shit posts. He's just on fire. Doesn't sell a dang thing. Just straight alpha. Buy and hold till you see green candles, and every day, just you can't beat it. What's up, John Connor? MG 3 resets a day. Yeah, this guy's hardcore. Yeah, I just got to the levels of not caring anymore, friend. It's helped a lot on my trading, brought position size down, and now I chill. Yeah, just make some money, pay your bills, and be free. Be free of the stas. Yeah, well, you guys, awesome. Thanks for hanging out. It's not like I won't be doing live streams. It's gonna get pretty fun. You know, maybe my timing was just off because I was looking for October, November, and into December to be really, really dynamic and fun. But maybe my timing was just a little bit off, and we get that coming up here. In which case, I will see you then, you guys. Happy New Year. Happy Yule. Merry Christmas. And be safe.